All right, hello everyone. We're back. Milano Hole 4, par 5 again, and even more wind than another shootout that I had. But wanted to go ahead and put together another win for you guys, just so you can, especially these mega winds, you got to be very careful with. So I'm going to set up kind of here, and you can see this is kind of 7 rings into power. If you can visually see where the red line is, it's about 6 or 7 rings. So I'm going to kind of keep that into my, so knowing that fact is going to kind of help me play this shot. And as you can see, I'm not going to go any power here. I'm just going for a curl shot, and I'm playing it kind of close to 1 per ring. So keeping that one fact that I mentioned, and there you can see that even with not a lot of topspin, without landing super aggressive on the fairway's edge, I can still get it over to this other fairway. So it just goes to show you that you really don't need to do a lot on this hole, especially with any downwind, whether it's pointed right or left, not going to really make or break you. Even with the big thing is having that curl aspect. And if you don't have that curl aspect, then you're going to need to do it with a full slice shot. So for example, if I wanted to do it with Thor's hammer or extra mile like you see my opponent has, I would need to do it with a full hook shot, and it's a lot harder to play. So but you can see even with those big downwinds that if you're very careful and overplay the wind a little bit, so I'm playing mine with my Epoch. So my Epoch 7 is 84 accuracy, and you can see there I accounted for at least minimum 1 per ring, as opposed to the usual 1.3. So it's a bit of an overplay, but as you can see, that's exactly what I needed for that shot, was to be able to do that. And here you can see with this layup that I just kind of play my sniper, about 8 rings, a very normal play, just try to land it somewhat aggressive down towards the edge. And that's the biggest help as to making this hole very easy. You never know what that second wind's going to get, especially with my opponent, who you see has a Guardian for this tour. This hole can bite you in the butt. So I do recommend, if you are going to play with Guardian, which I don't know why you would, but if you are going to play with Guardian, the biggest thing that I can suggest would be putting on a Kingmaker, just in case you get worst case scenario wind here. So if you get worst case scenario wind, he's not going to be up this far. He might be 20 yards back and might not be able to get to the green in 3. So just something to think about, especially if you want to, minimize your losses. That's the biggest thing that I do recommend. And you can see, even when I'm into the wind here, I'm even going to put on some topspin. I like to play the front of this fairway, and that's how you're going to see me play this one, with the front of the fairway. I'm going to play relatively close to a max ring adjustment here, but just a shade under. So I might go maybe just a shade over 6 rings, for example. So there's 5.9-ish, there's a little 6, maybe just a tiny over 6. And let's see if I can't give this a good run. See the bounce I get, looks pretty good, but the aim is just off. So you can see that even with that little bit of topspin, it just gets past the hole, and that's one of the biggest reasons I like to play it that way. The thing is, you have to avoid hitting it on the fringe, so you have to make sure that you bounce it onto the fairway there for the second hop, and maybe like part of the fringe you can get, but there's certain spots that you need to be careful that it'll start to take off if you don't quite do it right. Here you can see my opponent also gets it up onto the green, and we are going to be going to shootout. So I'm going to break these videos up, but I did want to show you guys this this shot here with a strong tailwind, just so you could see. You know, just kind of an alternate way to play it. You can see what I did was very, very safe. I didn't get aggressive on the edge or anything. And the biggest thing to the secret to that shot was the curl. So even if I had, you know, rock or QB, for example, I'd be okay because it has so much curl. But the way that I'm doing it with like a Thor's hammer or whatever, it'll be a little bit tougher. You might not get it back to the fairway every time without getting very aggressive on the right edge. So keep that in mind, and you know, I'm going to break this up. I'll catch you guys on the shootout in a moment.